and gentlemen, welcome to this debate. The motion for today's debate is technology makes us more alone. Now, we as today's proposition strongly believe that this is true, with the stance that technology pulls people apart. However, before we come to our actual argumentations, let us first define some important terms in this debate. We believe that what is meant by being alone is the lack of real communication, real life communication, and leading to the feeling of loneliness, being loneliness. We as today's proposition have structured our case as follows. I, as the Prime Minister of the government side, will talking about the fact that technology does make us more alone, as it indoctrinates new ideology in having distant communication is fine, is normal. And the Deputy Minister, Mr. Fateh, will elaborate on his fact, which is technology kills communication skills of the society. Okay, now let me come to our first argument. The first reason why we are proposing this motion is the indoctrination on our mind through the use of the technology. It is undoubtedly on how technology have eased our burden in our daily life, as we can see in learning, in research, in communicating, and in educating, and many others. As much as you can see, the impact of the technology is beneficial, and one thing for certain, we cannot remove it from the equation of our life. But however, the impact of the technology on our social life is very significant, and it may well be a contributing factor to the loneliness epidemic, as you can see. Let me begin by explaining on how the technology indoctrinates the ideology. The ideology is, it is normal to have communicate with people from far away, not face to face. Nowadays, people generally use social media as the medium to communicate with other people around the globe. Moreover, social medias are even used to show off people's life. That they are having a sense of connection with other people. But however, we cannot lie to ourselves that the connection we show through the social media is just a lie, because the time we spend with technology is more than the time we spend with our real life bond. Okay, our real life people around us. Studies have suggested also that people who use Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, and other similar social media applications to keep in touch with people can add their vitality and communion in their real life. But if they are using social media mainly just as a substitute for the real connection, where their feeling of loneliness and inadequacy will likely to be worsened because they spend hours on it and daily. An example, a country, Japan, and is estimated 500,000 shut themselves from their social life. Because of what? Because of technology. They thinking technology is enough having at home. As you are all aware, we spend our daily life depending on technology, and we spend 24 hours on it. We may look at how many times we spend with technology, having it to take most of our time, rather than having the time to spend it with real life connection. As a result, we would not have the important attention to the real bond we have in real life. And even so, we spend most of it being in a virtual world, and that cannot be considered as a real bond. Because of what? Because it's a virtual world, as you can see. Before I end my argument, let me restate our stance for today's debate. Technology pulls people apart. We won't doubt that technology has made the world connected more than ever before. But the connection made, is it a real connection, my friends? Is it? Again, I have to say, because most of our time has been used with technology, meaning in reality, we are spending our time alone. Even how people can say it is used to be, technology is used to connect people from far away. But however, in reality, we are still living, having the connection with our gadget alone. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good morning to everyone. Hi, my name is Azmin bin Al-Nizar, and I am the opposition leader and also the first speaker on the behalf of the opposition team. So as the speaker of the opposition team, I would like to clarify that I disagree with this argument regarding to today's motion. As we all know that today's motion is about does technology makes us more alone, right? So as the opposition team, we actually conclude that we disagree with today's motion. Why so? Well, we will explain to you now. So I would like to tell you guys my argument that declines to this motion, which is that technology actually helps people who are shy or who are socially isolated to connect with other people easier than in real life. So, what are the evidence of my argument that I stated earlier? Although we always see that studies shows that technology makes us feel more isolated, right? But unfortunately, that might not actually be true. So, there has been a report that clarifies 25% of students that actually report that because of social media platform that they use, they become less shy. 20% of them felt more outgoing. 28% of them stated that they feel more confident, and 47% of them stated that those who were before, they were less social, but now with social media, the platform that they use, they become to able to make more friends, and they become more comfortable, especially in classes. Besides students or youth, even shy adults report that social media usage is the best platform, is a comfortable platform for them to use to interact with others. Besides, the terms that people always use that technology isolates people, for me, I don't think it's true. For me, the real definition is technology doesn't isolate people, but people isolate people themselves. Honestly, I don't get the concern about people stating that technology is somehow isolating. Even me, a person that sits behind my computer, I just normally can connect with more people. Yeah, and actually, by having social media, it is actually a bonus for me. I actually get to have more friends that I ever had in the previous years, even before internet was exist. Whether it was online people or in person, I still get to connect to people. So for me, there is no reason for stating that technology is kind of isolating. Thus blaming technology is isolating in somehow making it as a scapegoat for something that has happened anyway. You can't just blame technology on how people use it every day. I mean, I also use technology. People isolate themselves regardless of what's available to them. Just because they are not willing or unable to connect with the way you want it, doesn't mean that you can just state that that person is actually isolating. I mean, we don't know. Maybe that person has more connection than you know. Using technologies that you have elected to pass by. Even kids nowadays uses mobile devices, especially to connect with their friends. So, ladies and gentlemen, as the behalf of the opposition team and as the result of what I have stated earlier, we have decided that technology does not make us isolated, but rather more sociable. So, we would like to conclude that today's motion shall be fallen. Thank you.
A very good day I bid to everyone. So today, as the Deputy Minister of the government side, I am still supporting the motion this House believes that technology makes us more alone, with our stance which is technology pulls people apart. Ladies and gentlemen, technology does not only attempt behavioral change of our society, as what Prime Minister stated just now. Technology can also kill the communication skills of our society. That is my argument for today. So what do I mean by that? Let me start with some fun facts. Firstly, according to Marketo, a big company of technology marketing, they said that 41% of Generation Z spends more than 3 hours a day on computers for non-school related activities. Second fact, 38% of children under 2 have used a mobile device for playing games, watching videos, or other media-related purposes according to the common sense media. So today, I just want the whole society to understand one important thing. We depend too much on technology, and that is why it kills communication skills. I am scared with those facts just now because I believe our young children should learn how to communicate more than how to understand things. Now, yes, by they can learn language, they can learn facts through the medias, to the social medias. But what really important is for them to have an actual real communication, a face-to-face communication with their families. Because I think this unhealthy practice our society have today are the reason why kids are slowly trained only to think and write, but not to communicate. This will give bad results in their daily life because at the end of the day, they will have lack of confidence, and that will be bad for them because they will have difficulties in starting a conversation and will hardly make friends. So, ladies and gentlemen, the product of lacking communication skills can be seen through the lack of confidence in young adults when conversing during important events such as job interview. So, although one may have academical qualification, that does not guarantee that their success in an interview due to their lack of communication skills. Now, that is why our youth nowadays cannot fight their way into being a complete person who can contribute ideas for our country, for our society. I say because of technology, we are forgetting the fact that we do have friends. Now that is what happening in our world today, the adults specifically, because we do have the chance of discussing, sharing information with other people, with our friends. But instead of reaching out to us, get information and discussing thoroughly about topic with other people, people tend to just look it up in the internet and then be satisfied with what they read. Now, because of that bad behavior, the communication in our community hardly occurs, and the communication skills in them die, little by little, killed by their own attitude. Now, the opposition might say, but technology allows us to reach other people and let's talk. Yes, but ask yourself about what really happened. Because people only good at conversing in social media, but not in the real world. That is why they rarely care about it. Now, to justify that, I came here today with a solid statistic. According to a study done by the Council for Research Excellence, the average adult in the United States now spends roughly 8.5 hours a day looking at screen. Now you know why people today sometimes are scared to start conversation, because they spend too much on screen and they don't practice to talk to other people. Now, before I end my speech, I would like to remind that this behavior is the reason why it pulls people apart, because we don't practice our communication skills. Now, with that, I rest my case.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. My name is Hazik bin Muhammad Shahal, and I am the second speaker on behalf of the opposition team today. I echo the same sentiment as our first presenter, Mr. Azmin, in regard with the motion of today's debate. That is, I completely disagree with the motion that technology makes us more alone. My argument is on the basis that technology is the key catalyst of human communication in the 21st century, that is right now. So, this is because the phrase more alone in the statement is insinuating that with technology it will be harder to communicate as being face to face while talking to another person is simply the norm in today's society. I will prove it through my elaboration and my example that technology is in fact making us to be less alone. I say this with very much confidence because of creation of technology called social media. So, you might be wondering, what is social media? According to the Cambridge Dictionary, social media can be defined as websites and computer programs that allow people to communicate and share information on the internet using a computer or a mobile phone. Social networking sites are today's internet juggernaut. Do you know why? Because it is too big a force to ignore in this current society. Millions and billions of people are gravitating towards social networking sites. For example, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, WeChat, and even TikTok. So, in a statistic report by J. Clements that was published on April 2020 this year, there are currently 2.449 billion active users on Facebook alone, 1 billion active users on Instagram, and 340 million active users on Twitter. With this type of technology on our fingertips, we will be able to neglect the geological barriers that resides around us and be in contact with a vast amount of people all around the world. Why would I say that? The reason why is because with social media, people, for example, in Malaysia, can be in contact and know another person from Europe, from America, from South America, and any other continents in the whole wide world. Why is it? The reason why is because they could communicate through what? Social media. It would definitely make them to be less lonely. So, therefore, we as the opposition team for today, Mr. Azmin and I, we completely oppose the motion stated, as it is the antithesis of what is happening in this current technology-driven world. So, ladies and gentlemen, what have I told you today? It is proven that through social media, technology for sure do not make us alone, but rather more sociable. It is all in our hands, and for this, the motion must fall. Thank you.